All right, thank you all for joining us today. We're here to talk about a memorial, or basically adding some names to our memorial. I'm just going to give you some basic information and then tell you a couple stories and a little information about why we're here today. In 1962, President Kennedy signed a proclamation designating May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which the date falls as Police Week. 6 Greene County Sheriff's deputies have been killed in the line of duty. 3 of those deputies were killed during the Young Brothers Massacre, the worst single killing of law enforcement officers prior to September 11th, where a total of 6 officers lost their lives. We remember Sheriff Marcel Hendricks, Deputy Sheriff Wiley Mashburn, Deputy Sheriff Ollie Crosswhite, Constable Jacob Bowman, Deputy Sheriff Jerry Lee Idman, and Deputy Sheriff Gary D. McCormick. Today, we honor 2 additional deputies whose deaths have gone unrecognized, one for nearly over a century. Deputy Sheriff John Henry Frank Keller and Deputy Sheriff Charles J. Kinser. Through extensive research of another fellow law enforcement officer, Springfield Police Officer Rob Schroeder, who's a history enthusiast, he uncovered these 2 deputy sheriffs' deaths. Deputy Keller is currently buried at Maple Park Cemetery in Springfield in an unmarked grave. The Greene County Sheriff's Office and Womack Monuments will be providing a new headstone for him. Deputy Kinser is buried at Dotson Cemetery in Mentor, Missouri. And joining us today is granddaughter of Charles Kinser, Kathy Williams, and her lifelong friend, Connie Ellingsworth. So thank you for joining us. We extend our gratitude to SPD Officer Schroeder and Womack Monuments. They've been instrumental in making this project happen. Womack Monuments also added the names onto our memorial here for us. Let me talk a little bit about the deputies and what happened with them. Deputy John Frank Keller was overseeing a group of 19 inmates working in a chain gang north of the zoo in Springfield. One of the men who had been drilling called to Deputy Keller to see about the work, and when he stooped over, inmate named George P. Ridge Hayes raised his pickaxe and struck him over the head. As soon as Deputy Keller fell over, Hayes took the revolver from Deputy Keller's belt, pointed at another deputy, Deputy J. Bettysworth. Deputy Bettysworth also had a double-barreled shotgun pointed at Hayes, which he fired at Hayes, striking him with birdshot. Deputy Keller later died a few hours from the injury at his home. On November 2nd, 1895, Hayes was sentenced to serve 99 years in prison for second-degree murder. He was transferred to an insane asylum in Fulton in 1901 and later pardoned by Governor Dockery. Deputy Keller was survived by his wife Anna and a child. He is buried in Maple Park Cemetery in Springfield. Charles J. Kinser. His end to watch was May 15th, 1925 at age 40. Cause of death was gunfire. Deputy Kinser was shot and killed in a shootout during a manhunt for 2 men who escaped from Memphis police. They were reported to be wanted for the murder of a section foreman in Memphis. They exchanged shots with police in Cabul, Missouri, and again with officers in Willow Springs, where the men left the Springfield-Memphis railway line. The conductor reported the suspicious men to the Willow Springs police, who then trailed them into Slabtown north of Willow Springs. The officers attempted to arrest the 2 men, who again exchanged gunfire with Willow Springs officers and escaped with no injuries. The men made their way northward to Marshfield area. Alarm was sent out and a search was commenced involving several departments, including that directed by Sheriff Alfred Owen, Greene County Sheriff, and Sheriff H.S. King, the Webster County Sheriff. Deputy Kinser and Ollie Crosswhite encountered the men in a wooded area a short distance south of Springfield Marshfield Road Deputy Crosswhite reported they entered a clearing and were suddenly fired upon in an ambush. Deputy Crosswhite was wounded, shot in the finger and again in the leg, then fired on the two suspects, wounding one in the hip and one in the groin. Deputy Kinser was discovered that he had been shot and killed during that gun battle. One of the two suspects, Henry Smith, was shot and killed by posse on May 18th. He is buried in Potter's Field in Marshfield. The second suspect, Warden Trotter, was later apprehended, charged and prosecuted in September 1925. Charges were dismissed by Judge Skinker, not allowing the trial to go before the jury. He cited jurisdictional grounds, given the circumstances. Deputy Kinser was preceded by his wife, Brocky, and survived by his two sons, Rex and Max Kinser. His interment is in Dotson Cemetery in Mentor, Missouri. We appreciate you all coming today. We wanted to make sure that we recognized these two deputy sheriffs that has gone unrecognized. We have added them to the police memorial. They'll be added to the wall in Washington, D.C. Also, and we'll continue to recognize them for their service and that they were killed in the line of duty. At this point, I'd like to present a flag in honor of Deputy Sheriff Charles Kinser to his only family member that's left. So there you go.
Thank you so much.
You bet. We're honored to have them here, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I guess, how did the deaths go unrecognized for so long?
Well, that's a good question. We don't know. As we have gone through, like I said, a history buff from Springfield Police Department, which I think is here somewhere, here in the back, found that out by researching other Springfield officers' deaths and came across that. You know, a sheriff's office is a very unique thing because the sheriff may change every 4 years. In our history of Greene County, we don't have a lot of information about what took place except for newspaper articles and things like that. And when a sheriff leaves office, unfortunately, he takes a lot of that information with him. It may pass down to his family, but then it may not come forward. So a lot of history is lost in sheriff's offices across the United States that way.
I guess personally, how cool is it for you to be able to look back and to give these officers the honor they deserve?
Well, and that's it. It is an honor, and it's unfortunately we've gone this long without recognizing them, and for them giving the ultimate sacrifice to protect citizens of Greene County. And so it's an honor, and I'm humbled that family could come and be present with us, and it's a very good thing.
The officer that discovered this, how did he find that in old newspaper clippings? Do we know how he found it?
Want to come up? You'll just have to talk right by me.
I do research into Springfield police officers. I run our police museum. During my research, I found the information out about the two deputies.
I mean, I always knew. In my family, where I was, Captain Lynn called me. He said, "Do you know this person?" I said, "Yes, he's my grandfather." But I had always heard the stories, but you know, I did not know you had a memorial, or I probably would have said something myself. So it's nice after all this time for him to still be honored. So thank you very much.
All right, anybody have anything else? We also be recognize them in the upcoming weeks as Police Week is recognized. So you'll this won't be the last time that you hear about these deputies and all the deputies that have died in the line of duty here in Greene County and in Springfield. Thank you all very much. If you have individual questions you want to come up and ask, feel free. She's very, very good at giving speeches, so she'd be happy to talk to you.